Welcome back to today's deep dive into the most valuable and highly sought after United Kingdom 3p coins. In this video, we're uncovering the top 5 3p pieces that have captured the attention of collectors around the world. These tiny coins may seem modest in size, but their stories, rarity, and auction results tell a dramatically different tale. Whether you are a seasoned numismatist or just curious about rare British coins, you're in the right place. We'll explore each coin's history, unique features, why collectors clamor for them, and crucially, what they've been fetching at market prices, all presented in clear. So let's get started. First up, the United Kingdom 3p coin dated 1954. In this video, we will explore why this modest denomination pre-decimal coin continues to fascinate collectors, how its story extends beyond simple face value, and what fine condition examples are currently worth in today's auction market in US dollars. Whether you're a seasoned collector or new to British coins, understanding the story behind this coin gives insight into the broader world of coin collecting and how condition and rarity influence value. The 3p coin, often referred to in Britain as the threepenny bit, was a part of the pre-decimal currency system used in the United Kingdom prior to decimalization in 1971. The brass nickel alloy version of the 3p was introduced in the late 1930s and continued through the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, including the 1954 issue we're focusing on. These coins were minted in large quantities for the 1954 3p. Records show a mintage of approximately 41,720,000 coins struck at the Royal Mint in London. The obverse of the coin bears the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II with the Latin legend around the perimeter, while the reverse features a crown Tudor portcullis with chains, symbolizing strength and continuity in British heritage. After decimalization on February 15, 1971, the 3p was removed from circulation and ceased to be legal tender, marking an end to its everyday use in British commerce. Design-wise, the 1954 3p stands out with its distinct 12-sided shape, a departure from the traditional round coinage that helped it be easily recognized by touch. The coin was crafted from a nickel-brass alloy, weighing just under 7 grams and featuring crisp design elements when struck in higher quality grades. Its artistic details reflect the post-war British aesthetic and the early era of Elizabeth II's reign. Unlike silver 3p of earlier decades, the 1954 brass 3p was designed to be practical for circulation, while still maintaining a dignified presence in pocket change. The lettering and portcullis design have become iconic elements of British numismatic design, making the coin instantly recognizable to collectors around the world. Despite a relatively high mintage number in the tens of millions, the 1954 3p is described in some catalogs as very scarce among collectors, particularly in higher grades. The scarcity designation does not imply there were few coins struck, but rather that well-preserved examples, especially in grades above fine, are harder to find today because most circulated extensively before they were retired from use. The early years of Queen Elizabeth II's brass 3p series, including 1954, are especially sought after by collectors pursuing complete date runs of pre-decimal coinage. While some dates in the series are more common, the 1954 issue remains a cornerstone for British pre-decimal collections and can generate higher interest among enthusiasts and specialist dealers. The value of a 1954 United Kingdom 3p in fine condition typically ranges from around $35,000, depending on eye appeal and surface quality. However, coins grading very fine or extremely fine can climb into the $42,000 range, while uncirculated or proof examples have sold for significantly higher prices, sometimes exceeding $78,000 at major international auctions. Market trends show that prices have been slowly but steadily increasing as collectors recognize the historical importance and diminishing supply of well-preserved pieces. For a coin that was once everyday pocket change, this represents impressive growth. If you are considering adding a 1954 3p to your collection, a few key points will help ensure you make an informed purchase. First, always verify the grading standard used by sellers. Terms like fine, very fine, and extremely fine have specific definitions that affect value. Dealers and auction houses differ in how they apply these standards, so comparing coins in person or via clear photographs is critical. Second, seek coins with minimal corrosion or surface damage. For brass coins that circulated widely, environmental wear can heavily impact appearance and price. Third, consider acquiring coins with professional certification from reputable grading services if you intend to hold or sell at a later date. This can enhance credibility and value, particularly for coins graded above typical circulated levels. Finally, research recent sold prices rather than listed prices. Auction records and completed sales provide a more accurate reflection of what collectors are actually willing to pay. Market trends can shift over time, so staying informed about current auction results will help you identify good buying opportunities. The United Kingdom 3 pence 1954 coin may not be the most expensive coin in British numismatics, but it holds an enduring appeal that reflects both its historical context and its role in the pre-decimal monetary system. While values for fine condition examples are modest in dollar terms compared to rare era coins or high-grade pieces, this coin remains a meaningful piece for collectors seeking to understand Britain's coinage history. Its distinctive 12-sided design, connection to Queen Elizabeth II's early reign, and place in broader collections make the 1954 3 pence a fascinating and worthwhile collectible. Whether you are aiming to complete a date run or simply appreciate historical coins, the 1954 3 pence offers a tangible link to Britain's past and the vibrant world of coin collecting. Next up, the United Kingdom threepence coin dated 1962, often referred to as the threepenny bit. This coin is a tangible remnant of the pre-decimal currency system that was used across the United Kingdom until 1971. Many collectors and hobbyists find this small, 12-sided coin fascinating, and we will explore why it continues to be of interest, even when found in circulated condition. From its historical roots and physical attributes to its place in today's market and tips for collectors, we will cover everything you need to know about this coin. The threepence denomination has a long and storied history in British coinage, originally circulating in various forms from the early modern period. Prior to decimalization in 1971, 3 pence was worth 1/24th of a pound sterling and served as everyday small change for purchases across the UK and British Empire. The nickel-brass 12-sided design, of which the 1962 issue is part, was first introduced in 1937 during the reign of King George VI and continued under Queen Elizabeth II. The 1962 threepence features the youthful effigy of Elizabeth II on the obverse and a crown portcullis on the reverse, symbolizing the authority of the crown and the unity of Parliament. These nickel-brass coins were produced up until the end of the pre-decimal era and were withdrawn from circulation following the changeover to the decimal system in 1971. Although not as ancient as some coins in UK numismatics, the 1962 threepence embodies the final decades of traditional British currency. Physically, the 1962 threepence is distinct in several ways. It is 12-sided, which was an unusual shape for British coins at the time and helped it stand out in everyday use. The coin is composed of a nickel-brass alloy, weighing around 6.8 grams with a diameter of approximately 21.6 millimeters. On the obverse, you will see the laureate bust of Queen Elizabeth II facing right, surrounded by the Latin inscription referencing her role as monarch. The reverse design features a Tudor portcullis with chains beneath a crown, flanked by the denomination and year of issue. These design elements reflect the artistic styles and minting practices of the Royal Mint in the mid-20th century. While these characteristics are shared with many other issues from the period, the overall combination of metal, shape, and design make the 1962 threepence a recognizable piece for any collector. When discussing rarity, it's important to be precise. The 1962 threepence has a relatively high mintage figure typically cited around 47 million pieces, and thus is not considered a rare coin in the strictest numismatic sense. Because so many were produced and circulated, dozens can still be found in estate collections, coin lots, and old change. That said, collector demand does exist, especially for examples that exhibit above-average detail despite circulation wear. Coins in higher grades with fewer scratches, minimal contact marks, and clear detail are more desirable than heavily worn versions. These circulated examples can still find interest among beginner collectors, those completing British pre-decimal sets, and international buyers who enjoy historic pieces of the Commonwealth era. However, compared to genuinely scarce dates or rare mint errors, the 1962 threepence is better described as common but collectible. When it comes to auction market value, a standard 1962 UK 3 pence in circulated condition usually trades in the modest range of a few dollars, often between $45,000 depending on eye appeal. However, this is only the starting point. Well-preserved circulated coins with attractive color and minimal wear can sell for higher amounts, especially when professionally graded. Uncirculated examples jump significantly in value, often reaching the $50,000 range or more. Proof versions and confirmed mint errors can bring much bigger money, sometimes ranging from $58,000 into the hundreds at auction. This wide value range is exactly why collectors continue to check their old coins closely. For collectors interested in the 1962 threepence, attention to condition and provenance is key. Since circulated coins are common, seek specimens with the least amount of wear you can reasonably find. Sharper details on the Queen's bust and clearer letter edges will increase appeal. Consider consulting official grading standards, or even submitting higher-grade coins for professional grading if you believe they might sell at a premium. It's also wise to compare prices across different platforms, local coin shows, online auction sites, and specialized dealers to develop a sense of the current market. For those building a broader pre-decimal British set, the 1962 threepence serves as an accessible example. But remember that coins with unusual toning, historical provenance, or exceptionally attractive surfaces can sometimes command a modest premium. Finally, engage with numismatic communities and reference updated price guides to stay informed about trends and demand. The United Kingdom threepence of 1962 in circulated condition remains an enduring piece of British monetary history. While not rare in strict numismatic terms, it holds value for its design, place in the pre-decimal era, and appeal to collectors both novice and experienced. Its market value in dollars is modest, reflecting its large mintage and relative availability, yet well-preserved examples can still garner interest. Whether you have one in your collection or are considering acquiring one, this coin offers a fascinating window into the coinage of a bygone era. Next up, the United Kingdom threepence 1960, especially when found in very fine condition. At first glance, this coin may seem ordinary, but once you explore its history, unique design, and collector demand, you'll understand why it continues to attract attention in the auction market. Stay with us till the end, because we'll also discuss its current market value in dollars and share practical tips for collectors who want to add this classic piece to their collection. The British threepence coin has a long and fascinating history that dates back centuries, but the 1960 issue belongs to the later period of the denomination, just a decade before Britain's major decimalization in 1971. By 1960, the threepence was widely used in everyday transactions and was part of the pre-decimal currency system where 12 pence made 1 shilling. This coin was struck during the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, whose early portrait appears on the obverse. The 1960 threepence reflects a time when Britain was transitioning socially and economically, yet still deeply rooted in traditional coinage. As one of the final regular issues of the threepence, it holds historical importance for collectors who value coins from the closing chapters of old British currency. One of the most distinctive aspects of the 1960 UK threepence is its 12-sided shape, which immediately sets it apart from most round coins. This unusual design was practical as well as symbolic, making the coin easy to recognize by touch. The coin is made of nickel brass, giving it a warm golden tone that ages beautifully over time. On the obverse, the youthful portrait of Queen Elizabeth II is accompanied by a Latin inscription identifying her as queen. The reverse features the iconic portcullis with chains, a powerful symbol of British strength and security, topped with the royal crown. In very fine condition, the coin still shows clear lettering, visible crown details, and strong lines in the portcullis, which significantly enhances its visual appeal and collectible value. While the 1963 pence is considered extremely rare in terms of mintage numbers, condition plays a crucial role in its scarcity. Many of these coins were heavily circulated, meaning truly well-preserved examples are becoming harder to find each year. A piece graded as very fine stands out because it retains much of its original detail without major wear or damage. Collectors of pre-decimal British coins actively seek such examples, especially those free from corrosion, discoloration, or heavy scratches. Demand is particularly strong among collectors who specialize in Queen Elizabeth II's early coinage and those building complete threepence date sets. This steady demand keeps the coin relevant in today's collector market. When it comes to auction market value, the 1960 UK threepence in very fine condition can fetch surprisingly respectable prices. In recent auction and private sales, examples in clean very fine condition typically sell in the range of $84,000, depending on eye appeal, originality, and overall surface quality. Coins with brighter color, minimal marks, and strong details can push toward the higher end of this range. Its consistent value growth and steady collector interest make it an attractive and affordable piece, especially for those entering the British coin market. The 1963 pence condition should always be your top priority. Look closely at the crown, lettering, and the chains on the portcullis, as these areas wear down first. Original color and natural aging are preferable to overly cleaned coins, which can reduce value. Purchasing from reputable dealers or established auction platforms helps ensure authenticity. Storing the coin in a protective holder away from moisture and direct sunlight will preserve its condition over time. Even modest coins like this can appreciate steadily when properly cared for. The United Kingdom 3 pence 1960 in very fine condition is a wonderful example of how historical significance, unique design, and collector demand come together to create lasting value. It represents the final era of Britain's pre-decimal coinage and carries the charm of Queen Elizabeth II's early reign. While modest in size, this coin holds a solid place in the auction market and remains a favorite among collectors worldwide. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned numismatist, this classic British coin deserves a spot in your collection. Next up, the United Kingdom 3 pence coin from 1967, specifically focusing on examples graded in fine condition and the reasons this issue still attracts interest among collectors around the world. Although modest in intrinsic value compared to rarities like early silver issues or extremely low mintage errors, the 1967 threepence holds a unique place in numismatic history as part of the final years of the United Kingdom's pre-decimal currency system. In this video we will discuss the coin's history and background, examine its features, address its rarity and demand among collectors, outline its current market value in US dollars, offer tips for collectors, and conclude with why it remains a meaningful addition to any collection. The British threepence, often called the threepenny bit, or simply threepence, has a long history in the United Kingdom, with origins stretching back centuries as a fractional coin used in everyday commerce. By the mid-20th century, the coin underwent a significant transformation. Beginning in 1937, the coin shifted from the small silver version to a larger, 12-sided piece struck in nickel brass. This modern design continued through the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, with the 1967 coin being among the last struck for general circulation before the nation's transition to decimal currency in 1971. Under the pre-decimal monetary system, the threepence was valued at 3 old pence, which was equivalent to 1/20th of a shilling and 1/80th of a pound. These coins circulated widely in everyday transactions throughout Britain and its territories until they were demonetized at the end of August 1971 as part of the transition to decimal currency. The 1967 threepence is distinguished by several noteworthy physical and design features. Unlike traditional round coins, it has a distinctive 12-sided shape, making it easy to identify by touch and sight. The composition is nickel brass, giving the coin a warm, golden hue. On the obverse side, the coin features the laureate bust of Queen Elizabeth II facing right, accompanied by the Latin legend Elizabeth II Dei Gratia Regina F laughing face : meaning, Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. The reverse design presents a Tudor portcullis with chains beneath a crown, surrounded by the denomination and date. This portcullis motif is a classic symbol associated with the Palace of Westminster and reflects the continuity of British heraldic imagery on circulating coinage. In terms of dimensions, the coin weighs approximately 6.8 grams and measures about 21.0 to 21.6 millimeters across its flats and corners. When discussing rarity, it is important to clarify that the 1967 threepence was not a low mintage or era coin in the classic sense. It was produced in relatively large numbers. According to numismatic references, the total mintage for the 1967 nickel brass threepence was over 150 million pieces, making it a common date within the series. For many collectors, the appeal of this coin lies not in extreme scarcity but in its status as one of the final circulating coins before decimalization, plus its distinctive shape and nostalgic connection to everyday British life in the mid-20th century. A genuine rarity in the threepence series tends to be proof issues or specific era variants, rather than standard circulation strikes. As a result, demand from modern collectors often centers on specimens in higher grades, with sharply increasing premiums for extremely fine or uncirculated pieces. A 1967 coin in fine condition will be notably more attractive than heavily worn examples, but it remains relatively accessible compared to truly rare or era coins. Turning to current market values in US dollars, it is important to differentiate between typical examples and those that may achieve premium prices in auctions. Standard market pricing for a 1967 threepence in fine condition is modest, generally reflecting its commonality. Many reputable coin references list this coin in circulation grades at values equivalent to a few US dollars at most, often in the range of $42,000 when converted from British sterling retail pricing. Such valuations align with the experienced market data showing modest demand for circulated examples. That said, online auction listings can sometimes feature anomalously high asking prices, with individual sellers listing pieces for thousands of dollars, even exceeding $66,000 in some cases, though these listings do not necessarily reflect realistic sale prices or verified auction results. High estimates of this nature are often driven by speculative pricing or unique circumstances rather than verified auction outcomes. Collectors should interpret such listings cautiously and seek confirmed sale data to understand true market trends. For those interested in collecting the 1967 threepence, or expanding their pre-decimal series, start by learning how to assess coin condition accurately. Familiarize yourself with grading criteria from good through fine, very fine, extremely fine, and into uncirculated, as even small differences in wear and strike quality can influence value. Handling coins carefully, avoiding cleaning or abrasive treatments, and storing them in protective holders will preserve condition and long-term value. When purchasing, compare prices across reputable dealers, auction records, and online marketplaces to ensure fair pricing, particularly for graded or certified examples. If you are new to pre-decimal British coins, consider building a set year by year to appreciate the historical evolution and variety within the series. The United Kingdom 3p coin from 1967 is a meaningful and historic piece of British coinage that resonates with collectors due to its place in the final era of pre-decimal currency, its unique 12-sided design, and its representation of mid-20th century British monetary history. While rare in the strictest sense, especially in circulated grades, a 1967 threepence in fine condition remains a collectible item with modest market value that reflects both condition and collector demand. For numismatists building a comprehensive British pre-decimal collection, this coin serves as an accessible yet significant example of a bygone monetary system. Whether you are just beginning your coin collecting journey or adding depth to an established collection, the 1967 threepence is a charming piece of history worthy of attention. Next up, we're talking about the United Kingdom 3p coin dated 1953, examined specifically in circulated condition. At first glance, this coin may seem ordinary, but once you understand its history, design, and collector demand, you'll realize why certain examples are quietly gaining attention and value in today's coin market, especially when sold in dollars at international auctions. The 1953 3p coin holds a special place in British history because it was struck during the coronation year of Queen Elizabeth II. After the death of King George VI in 1952, 1953 became a year of national celebration and transition. Coins minted during this period represent the beginning of a new Elizabethan era, which automatically adds historical importance. The 3p denomination itself had already evolved from silver to brass before World War II, and by 1953 it was firmly established as a practical everyday coin used widely across the United Kingdom. These coins circulated heavily during a time of rebuilding and social change, making surviving examples tangible witnesses to mid-20th century British life. One of the most distinctive aspects of the 1953 UK 3p is its 12-sided shape, a feature introduced to help the public easily distinguish it from other coins by touch alone. Struck in brass, the coin has a warm golden tone when well preserved, though circulated examples often show darker patina and surface wear. The obverse features the young portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Mary Gillick, which many collectors consider one of the most elegant royal portraits ever used on British coinage. The reverse displays the crown portcullis chains, a traditional British symbol associated with Parliament and national strength. Even in circulated condition, the bold lettering and unusual shape make this coin instantly recognizable. While the 1953 3p was produced in relatively high numbers, true scarcity emerges when collectors focus on condition, strike quality, and special varieties. Circulated coins that retain sharp details, readable legends, and minimal damage are far less common than heavily worn examples. Additionally, collectors place strong emotional and historical value on 1953 dated coins because of the coronation connection. International demand, especially from collectors in the United States and Asia, has grown steadily as British decimal and pre-decimal coins gain global recognition. This rising interest means that even circulated examples are no longer ignored, particularly when they present attractive eye appeal or provenance. In today's auction market, a 1953 UK 3p in circulated condition typically sells in the range of $15,000, depending on wear, color, and overall appeal. However, Higher-end circulated pieces that approach extremely fine condition can reach $45,000 at competitive auctions. Exceptional examples, including error strikes, proof-like surfaces, or coins with original mint luster surviving circulation, have been known to exceed $75,000, especially when graded by professional services. While this may not seem like millionaire money, the steady upward trend makes this coin an attractive long-term collectible rather than loose change. Collectors interested in the 1953 3 pence should pay close attention to surface quality, rim damage, and cleaning marks, as these factors heavily influence value. Natural toning is preferred over harsh cleaning, which can significantly reduce auction prices. Storing the coin in a protective holder away from moisture will help preserve its condition. It's also wise to compare multiple examples before buying or selling, as small differences in detail can lead to noticeable price gaps. Keeping an eye on international auction results in dollars can help collectors understand real market demand rather than relying solely on catalog prices. The United Kingdom 3 pence 1953 may be a small coin, but it carries a powerful mix of historical significance, unique design, and growing collector interest. As a coronation year issue from the early reign of Queen Elizabeth II, it stands as a symbol of a new era in British history. Even in circulated condition, this coin continues to attract attention in the global auction market, with values steadily rising in dollar terms. For collectors who appreciate history, character, and long-term potential, the 1953 3 pence is a humble yet meaningful addition to any collection. If you enjoyed this deep dive into classic British coinage, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more rare coin stories worth real money.